performance.
बिहार को अब विकास चाहिए, अपने बच्चों को और अपना भविष्य चाहिए। बिहार को अब जंगल राज नहीं चाहिए।
चल रही है जो चीज, इसको भी स्वीकार करना पड़ेगा।
बिहार की जनता अमन, चैन, शांति के लिए वोट दिया है।
Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching a special edition of Plain Speak from Patna. I'm Shivani Gupta and we're joining you from the Bihar Legislative Assembly, getting you not just the sights and sounds of how decked up the new Bihar Legislative Assembly is going to be, but it is going to be a historic one as well, because the NDA, the BJP-JDU combined, or the Pandavs of the NDA, are scripting history. The numbers are still going up and down a little bit, but it could well be a record performance by them, overturning their own previous record from earlier years. But first up, speaking about this record performance, I want to go across to former Union Minister and senior BJP leader Prakash Javadekar, who's joining us. Prakash Javadekar, nobody saw this coming. How did you describe the numbers that have come in for the NDA today?
See, people want good governance. This is a positive mandate. And this is more important, a mandate for governance. Because now people value governance and they want the results. And therefore, this is a very positive mandate, a pro-incumbency, and that is what is going on.
So a lot of people have been raising this question that BJP,
one is democracy.
BJP opposed reveries, so as to say reveries, but in this election, in Madhya Pradesh, in previous state elections, you've been giving out these cash doles for women particularly, and those elections, those doles are turning it around for you. So is this really for good governance per se, Prakash Javadekar? That's a question many are asking, or is this a new model, a fiscal model that
Absolutely
has emerged,
not.
which even the
It is
BJP
not
cannot
just
deny
one
is getting
cash
its state victories?
incentive which has brought us this victory. It is 20 years of Nitish and 12 years of now Modi ji, who has delivered all benefits without any leakage in their bank accounts. So people are happy. People have got houses, people have got toilets, people have got tap water, people have got everything what they wanted, Jan-Dhan account. And now DBT is reached 43 lakh crore rupees have gone directly to benefit the poor and farmers. So this is what it is happening. And therefore, people are happy for performance.
But is this...
And they voted for that only. They want good governance. They don't want jungle raj. They don't want...
Is this sustainable though? Is in every election, are people going to be given 10,000 rupees, etc.? If you are doing it, other governments will also start doing it?
No. Still, many governments, the state governments can decide their programs. But if somebody thinks that it is election strategy, that is wrong. And it will be actually a very important signage is that they will definitely convert this, the victory, into a permanent victory for BJP. And this is for the first time we are seeing that there is no anti-incumbency, there is pro-incumbency. And that is why it's a Modi magic, it's a Nitish magic, and it's Sangathan magic. All three are important, and that is what all three work together. And Tejasvi and Rahul Gandhi, they are not even part-time politicians. And therefore, people don't take them seriously. In COVID, they were nowhere. It was only BJP. And therefore, people want Modi ji to rule the country and now states also. Bihar, we are ruling, and now we are ruling again. But the way Delhi, Haryana, Maharashtra, and now Bihar. This is a straight fourth win for BJP and its allies. So I'm very confident
Yes,
that this
BJP is
will.
making up extremely well from whatever scare it got in 2024. But I also want to ask you about Congress, because in many ways Bihar has become Congress Mukt Bihar. It has been
It
BJP's
is
aim to
nothing
make it
about
Congress Mukt Bharat, but at least
Bihar.
it has
See,
succeeded in making
Congress
it
is
Congress Mukt Bihar.
thinking process मुक्त कांग्रेस हो गया है. They don't understand what leader is talking, and he doesn't take into confidence to anybody, and people still follow because they think that the ultimate weapon we have is dynasty. But dynasty is gone now, and this is the message, and it has a long-term effect. It is more important is it will resonate in West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala also in April, because their assembly elections are that time. Assam we already have, but these three states,
Okay.
you will get the impact of these election results.
Yes, yes. Just stay with me, Prakash Javadekar. I've also joined with Avishkar Singhvi, lawyer and political analyst, leans towards the Congress party, son of Abhishek Manu Singhvi as well. Let me just take his reaction on what you said about Congress. That Congress is thinking Mukt Congress. They are only depending on dynasty, only on one leader, Rahul Gandhi, under whom you've lost election after election, and not learning. Avishkar?
Shivani, I don't really agree with your description and your question with regard to my profile, but I'll anyway, answer on the larger issue of the election results. I think it is clearly a decimation, and it is unprecedented. BJP and its allies have defied anti-incumbency. I would just say that what are the factors, in terms of analyzing the factors that have led to this landslide victory. It's clear that I think there were issues with regard to breaking the Muslim vote, with regard to the women coming out in huge numbers and voting, as you've already highlighted. The other issues that were there were, the Yadav vote and how they have voted, whether they have voted together. These will all remain to be analyzed in the days to come. But the exit polls, we must know that have got it horribly wrong once again, and that is something we should also note. And they've got it wrong in the opposite direction this time. None of the exit polls had predicted this number for anybody. What steps the parties take and what steps the Congress takes after due introspection and after looking at this loss, with regard to whether they challenge the election in the fundamentals or not, is remains to be seen. And I would also say that these issues that you highlighted with giving 1,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees to women, these are issues which the election commission ought to have stepped in. But I mean, all in all, nobody could have predicted these numbers. Everyone thought 90 or 100 was the
Congress
estimate.
governments were announcing their guarantee after guarantee. Nobody said this when the Aam Aadmi Party ran on quote-unquote freebies for 10 years in the national capital. Now you want the EC to step in. And I'm all for it. We've been discussing it, that there has to be some
I am
sort
all
of,
for consistency.
some sort of fiscal responsibility showed when it comes to making promises. But look at the promises that the Mahagathbandhan made this time around. There was no fiscal responsibility or even fiscal common sense there. Let me also bring in our other guests who are joining us. Siddharth Yadav, spokesperson of the BJP. I'm joined by Rahul Verma, senior fellow of CPR. And also with me here in Patna is Avinash Paswan, spokesperson of the JDU. Nikul Patel, leader of the Congress party, is also joining us, and we'll be joined with some more guests as well. Rahul, I want to bring you in. How do you describe, if you wanted to write the headline of this election, what happened here? Why did nobody see this coming? One, as Avishkar said, even if the trends were right, nobody saw 200 par. What happened here and why?
So I think if I have to write one line sort of like thing, it's a perfect storm that gained momentum as the campaign progressed. Now, why could people not see? I think I had heard from various people on the ground that NDA victory could be much bigger than what actually exit polls are predicting. And even I had put this on Twitter, given the numbers, the seat translation could be much, much higher. And especially because sometimes pollsters don't have gender breakup of turnout when they put the numbers, and once you put the gender weightage in your forecast, this could have gone much bigger. But even then, they could be off by some point. See, I think given the nature of polls in India, by and large, if you get the direction right and if you get some sort of like gap between the winner and runner-up, I think that should be our sort of like expectations from poll. Anything beyond that is just setting up unrealistic expectations. Now, why I said it's a perfect storm. See, NDA started with a bigger social coalition to begin with. If you think of like the four parties that are part of the NDA, they bring different social blocks together. Second, I think their alliance arithmetic worked well compared to MGB, where MGB till the last minute was not able to decide its candidate. On 11 seats, they had friendly fight. Nothing of that sort happened within the NDA. The third, if you think of the top two leaders of each side, on one hand you have Narendra Modi and Nitish Kumar, on the other hand you have Rahul Gandhi and Tejasvi Yadav. Now, Modi plus Nitish brings years of both political experience as well as governance experience. So comparatively, they also had a leadership advantage. Fourth, I think the schemes might have like these 10,000 rupees or other kinds of schemes that have happened in the past, especially like in the run-up to election, might have blunted some kind of anti-incumbency that was building in. And in my view, opposition towards the last sort of like thrown its hat in the ring rather than sort of like fighting with the NDA. They seem to be sort of like setting their own house in order. So I think all of these factors combined together created a kind of a perfect storm in favor of NDA, what we are seeing today.
Yes, and then you have that whole female factor. You have, the Jungle Raj optics hanging over as far as the electorate is concerned. Let me bring in Mr. Paswan here, Avinash Paswan. If I have to ask you, JDU has performed so well, and a lot of this election was about Nitish Kumar. According to you, what is that one big reason that these results have become reality today for JDU and BJP?
See, the one big reason is that we have a continuous good governance that we have started right from 2005. And more to that is the inclusive development that we have started, and especially the welfare schemes that we have started for women, basically. So right from the reservation that we have provided women in, 35% reservation in government jobs, also 50% reservation in panchayatis, and also most strikingly is the Jivika Yojana that we launched, which was also appreciated by the World Bank. For that matter, if you see, and recently, though people might say that we have provided freebies in the form of 10,000 rupees that we have given in the form of...
You bought votes. It's not just freebies. People allege that doing it so close to the Model Code of Conduct announcement was literally like buying votes.
So, but I have a different opinion. Reason being that is not a freebie or we did not provide the money to the women just for, in air. Rather, we also asked them to invest this money into the market to generate smaller, employment for themselves, so that this money can multiply itself into the market, so that it can, come bigger into the economy.
No,
and we cannot deny the fact that, the informal economy that we have in India or also around the world plays a major role, though it is not counted
in the organized economy.
Yes, that.
Anukriti, spokesperson of Jan Suraj, is also joining us. But Siddharth Yadav, I want to come to you first up. The Prime Minister is all set to come to the BJP headquarters. What everybody is talking about is that after the 2024 elections, we've seen Maharashtra, Haryana, Delhi, and now Bihar. And it's not just NDA wins or NDA, BJP wins. These are sweeping wins that the BJP is getting. Is it because you feel your supporters let you down in 2024 and now they're making up for it? Do you think that effect is playing out?
No, Shivani, I think there can be multiple reasons for such consecutive wins, but one reason which is consistent is the performance of the NDA, the performance of the Bharatiya Janata Party, and the growing love for Prime Minister Modi. One thing that BJP and NDA has established in the politics of our country is the factor of pro-incumbency. And I say this, I come from a place where if this has to be analyzed, you would see that Congress party in the last 15 years has not repeated a government wherever they won in any state or for the matter in the center. Rather, when you compare that with the BJP or the NDA, we are consecutively winning. We are winning Haryana from 2014, we are winning Gujarat from a long time, we are winning Bihar from 2005, we are winning Madhya Pradesh from long back. So when we perform in a matter where we deliver the promises that we make, we deliver on the actions that we want, and we touch the lives of the people of wherever we are working, I think that impacts on the results. Number two, if Bihar analysis has to be done, one thing that you would see, Shivani, is that Bihar has broken the shackles of caste, Bihar has broken the shackles of creed. All people coming from all castes, all creeds, coming from all religions have voted for Bharatiya Janata Party and NDA. People coming from all classes have voted for the Bharatiya
One
Janata
second,
Party
Siddharth,
and NDA.
I have a counter question to that, but these are also visuals coming in from the BJP headquarters. JP Nadda, BJP President, Home Minister Amit Shah, who was very keenly involved in the Bihar elections. He is in most elections, and especially since 2024, he has been very involved in the elections in every state because it has become a matter of prestige for BJP. It almost was a wake-up call, both for the organization and for its supporters as well, it looks like. But Siddharth, you said that people have risen above caste and creed. If you look at the vote share, it doesn't seem like that. The RJD vote share hasn't gone anywhere.
No, I don't know. If you have to analyze this, Shivani, then you have to see what BJP is getting, what kind of vote share and what kind of seats we are getting in the areas where, it was presumed that one caste would dominate or one, religious sect would dominate, and therefore the BJP or the NDA would not be getting that seats. Where what happened in Simhalchal? What happened in the Yadav-dominated seats? When I say that in all parts of Bihar, people from all castes have voted and supported for the NDA, this is a fact which is now on the ground. The performance of the Congress party, their vote share going down, their strike rate being
what happened was counter-polarization.
5% is a different matter. But if we are performing at a strike...
Siddharth, what happened was also counter-polarization. If you had the MY voting for RJD and Congress, you had virtually everybody else voting for the BJP and the NDA. That is what has happened. And yes, your arithmetic and your coalition worked perfectly on ground, as Rahul talked about. But it is still arithmetic. It is still caste, combinations. You just had a better umbrella organization and coalition than, let's say, what the RJD had. Or the RJD Congress had. Very quickly before I bring in Nicole as well.
Yes, I would very humbly would want to disagree with that, because the reason being, if MY was a factor, the same was the factor in 2020. We were at 122, 125, around, lesser than 130 in 2020. If MY was the factor, the results would have been similar to 2015 or 2020. If people of Bihar are giving you a mandate, a strike rate of 93% or more, 80% or more for the JDU, giving you 200 or more seats, I think everybody, people coming from all castes and creed, have voted for the politics of development, have voted for the politics and the vision of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and action of Nitish Kumar ji. So that is, I think, one of the biggest takeaways for this
from
election.
which background to which party? No, one second.
I'm sorry,
Just
Shivani?
before we started this show, Chirag Paswan was speaking to Network 18. And you know what Chirag Paswan said? If in 2020 I fought alone, that hurt the JDU and benefited the RJD. But RJD mistook it for its own strength. They didn't realize that it was because I was not fighting with the NDA. That is why they benefited from it. So you didn't have the LJP in 2020, no? You didn't have certain other alliance partners in 2020, and kudos to you. You've brought these, the Pandavs, as you were calling it, under the alliance in Bihar this time around, and you reaped the benefits. But Nicole, the problem also is, or the benefit for the BJP also is, that they have a weak opposition. Look at how Congress played these elections. Look at how Rahul Gandhi played these elections. It was essentially giving up well before the actual voting. And the issues that Rahul Gandhi was talking about, even in his alliance partner, Tejashwi didn't want to touch those issues. So the opposition only has itself to blame, particularly the Congress party, only has itself to blame that you don't win these elections.
See, the major setback today from Bihar elections, definitely for the Congress as well as the coalition which was fighting against the NDA. I would disagree with your point regarding taking the points to the strong level, because Rahul Gandhi ji began the election very, very ahead of all other parties, and we started with unemployment fare leading to some yatras and raising the people's issue. But definitely today, the people of Bihar had not come aside us, and we are facing this right now. Secondly, I think I would like to say that every elections is going to have its own analysis and own way of campaigning and own way of we can say that flavors. But over here, Congress and RJD had tried best to get through the elections, and Rahul Gandhi ji himself had into the elections for a long time. I disagree, and I say that though the results are not in favor of us, but we are the one of the strongest opposition into the country who is facing Bharatiya Janata Party at every front and try to put people of the country voice to the floor of the parliament, right to the Bihar also.
Okay. Rahul, you want to come in here? Do you think there's an insistence from the Congress party to not learn from its past lessons?
As a sort of like political analyst and citizen of this country, I would definitely sort of like echo what you are saying. But I would leave it to Congress party and its sympathizers, because I think we've been talking about the same thing now almost 10 years. And it seems that any sort of like suggestion or recommendations are taken in a very wrong spirit. So I would rather not comment on how Congress party should comment, how Congress party should respond. But see, Bihar verdict should not be thrown at the door of just Congress party. The entire MGB alliance has sort of like done badly. All constituents of MGB have fared badly in terms of their seat share, their vote share, except RJD, which has largely held on to its votes. Everyone else has declined. And so in some ways, this alliance did not work as it was expected to work. Perhaps last time the Bihar sort of like debacle could be placed at Congress door, but not this time. Congress is only one part of the problem, not the entire problem.
No, fair enough, fair enough. In that is also the mix of dynasty, Jungle Raj, that optics of that hangover of it, that clearly hurt the RJD as well. In fact, we have a very special conversation coming in from one of Bihar's leaders from the BJP, Rajiv Pratap Rudy, and I asked him this question about the future of RJD, and you would be very interested to hold on and listen to that, because he had a very interesting take on why the RJD is doing as badly as it did this time around. But Anukriti, I want to come to you as well. Prashant Kishore, everybody is reminding him of that statement today that if JDU wins more than 25 seats, he's going to quit politics. I hear he's going to speak to the media in a couple of days' time. But tell us more of what is in store for you.
He will. Of course he will. He's not going to go anywhere. He's not going to run away. We are all going to stay here in Bihar. We'll continue our work. Now, this whole, the timing of that statement has to be, really critically analyzed. When did Prashant say that? Prashant said that when we were all on the ground, and we did find, it's been 20 years, no matter what the results are today, I have spoken to a lot of BJP people off the record, off the camera, and they themselves are shocked. Nobody was expecting this kind of clean sweep. So much so that they are not even mentioning JDU in their, accolades, which is very unfair to Nitish Kumar, I would say, because the whole election has been fought on his name. Now, when we actually went and checked, there was a lot of anti-incumbency sentiment.
Prashant Kishore was unfair to Nitish Kumar.
No. Once again.
You didn't see it coming either. You said JDU will not win 25 seats.
Only when he went with NDA did Prashant Kishore make the statement, and after that After that, the coffers opened like nobody's business. Suddenly, 10,000 rupees, they actually use the Jivika scheme to bribe the voters. They, increase the Vridhavastha pension to 1100, which had not become even 410 in 10 years. They had suddenly increased the, Jivika, Didis ka mande, nurses ka paisa, rasoiyon ka paisa, everything suddenly went up. Now the plus, of course, the 125 unit bijli free. So my only contention here, humble submission rather here, is that JDU was in fact in a situation where this whole 25 seats could have become a grim reality, but they, of course, having the back of
Avinash,
their
you want to
great
respond to that?
ally, they managed to do a disaster.
It's not just
management.
Prashant Kishore. Even Tejashvi was very caustic about Nitish Kumar. He had talked about his mental stability, his senility, and all of that. You want to respond very quickly, then Siddharth.
By the way,
Definitely, see,
personally about
now
Nitish
because
Kumar, we've never
the
spoken.
mandate
We've
has
never
come to us, and we know that what the people have voted for. Prashant Kishore was never taken seriously by the people of Bihar, and in that manner, the way he actually tried to mobilize people, and today the statements that comes from the spokesperson of Jansuraj that the people of Bihar needs to be taught more, so that they can fight against this, pre-occurring system. But I don't think that is a good statement, politically correct statement.
Buddy, who are you
because,
quoting here? Because these are
we
not
cannot
my
doubt
words.
the
Who are you
mandate
quoting?
and
No, one second. When did
thinking process
which
of people of
spokesperson of
Bihar, and that
Jansuraj
is why.
said this?
Also,
Which spokesperson?
our fight was simply against the corruption, which was,
You're lying on
which
camera
was
now.
prevailing during that time, and that we have ended right from 2005 till till 2025, and we will continue this
Okay.
in years to come.
Yes, Siddharth, very quickly, let me take final comments. Siddharth, you wanted to come in?
No, Shivani, if I heard my learned friend from Jansuraj party correctly, I think what she was trying to refer to was that after Prashant Kishore made the statement that if Nitish Kumar is going to win 25 seats, I will leave politics. All of that happened in the world. What we are seeing happened only after that. And if that is true, I would just say that
because the
I'm
model
very
code of
sorry
conduct
for
was
because of the
implemented, and
mistake.
within 10
I
days,
was not speaking while you were speaking, ma'am. And with all humility, you must accept what has happened. You must accept what has happened. Nota se bhi chota hai. नोटा से भी छोटा है जन स्वराज पार्टी का रिजल्ट और जब लोगों ने people have gone ahead and voted more for nota and lesser for you why are you getting tired, man? Why are you getting people have given their mandate? Why are you getting tired? People have given their mandate. Accept what people did. If you want to, if you have credibility and integrity, Prashant Kishore said that if JDU wins 25 seats with all his confidence, I will leave politics. Go and ask your leader whether he is going to leave politics or not.
Whether it was
Shivani, I don't want to get into this banter today.
10,000 rupees coming.
Results have come out. People of Bihar have given their mandate.
I love the enthusiasm of our Jan Swaraj panel member. No seats, but a lot of gusto. And fair to you, I wish you all the gusto for future politics as well. But today is a day to accept that possibly Nitish Kumar had too much going for him. Apart from those schemes and apart from those money given in the hands of women in Bihar, because this win is not just on the back of that. Well, let's accept that. Let me take a final comment from Avishkar as well. Avishkar, lessons for the Congress party here. Can they look beyond Rahul Gandhi? Can they look beyond the issues that Rahul Gandhi is bringing to the table, like vote chori and election chori, or is this going to be more of the same?
No, my response would be that the bellwethers of this victory were not seen by anyone, and this is a time for introspection, not just for the Congress but for all people in the Mahagathbandhan, because nobody saw this kind of defeat. It is definitely demotivating for the party worker at the lower level, and I think they must rework their strategy on how to counterbalance all these strategies that are brought in by the BJP and the JDU just before the elections. So there must be a balancing factor, and they must look beyond just the Muslim Yadav vote, I believe. So I think that those are my observations, and I do
I think there's a
that,
message here in this election results that no party can take it for granted that there's a certain vote bank that you have and it's not going anywhere. Nicole?
Yeah, definitely. Every election is going to make you learn something, and you need to take care of what had happened. And next time when you go into the elections, you need to take care. Definitely, Rahul Gandhi wants to strengthen the organization by putting Sangathan Srujan Abhiyan. That what I want to convey to the people of the country. And we have started from Gujarat. I think entire India is going to see that organizational restructure, and we hope that that will work out for the Congress and make Congress more strong at up to grassroots level.
You can
But I
only
assure
learn if
you
you
that
don't question the process, sir.
I think now you must not intervene. I think we as a
Please
party
go
are
ahead.
one of the yes, yeah. See, we as a party are the only in the entire country who is facing BJP at all levels. At regional levels, definitely we are in the coalition, but overall in the country, Rahul Gandhi is the one who is giving heed to the Pradhan Mantri regarding various policies as well as the things which are not happening the correct way in the country as per policies as well as systems as well as
Yeah, but at state
bureaucracy and
level, that's
everything.
not working. Read
Yeah.
the writing on the wall. In states like Karnataka, where you have your own leadership, in Telangana, where you had a boisterous leadership, you managed to do well. You don't need Rahul Gandhi to win you all of these elections. And is he helping in some of these elections? But that's a question for another day. I don't want to make this only about Rahul Gandhi and whether his vote chori campaign worked or not. I do thank all of our guests for joining us. It is indeed a big day for the NDA, and those celebrations are going to continue now at the BJP headquarters in the national capital. Big BJP leaders have already arrived there, and everybody is awaiting the arrival of the Prime Minister, which is scheduled for 7 p.m. this evening, and we're going to be live through that. But I also now, in fact, there are fireworks going off here in Patna behind us where I am. I don't know if you can catch that on the mic, but a lot of celebrations in store in Patna as well. But I also want to go across to Rajiv Pratap Rudy of the BJP now joining us, someone who understands the state of Bihar very, very well. Rajiv Pratap Rudy, thanks a lot for speaking to us. Let me begin by asking you, has Bihar surprised you in some ways, this result?
It must have surprised all those pollsters who do not know Bihar, but as far as we know, especially when you're talking to a person who has been on ground for throughout his life and this election in particular. Numbers, of course, is unbelievable, but groundswell was that, and we could feel that. We were there, but we would refrain from talking that way. But nonetheless, it was there on the ground, and which possibly has emerged. And there were many obvious reasons which we haven't been talking about.
Yes, no, I meant the numbers. I meant the numbers. We heard 160 plus, but nobody really talked about 200.
I won't say it's a surprise. The numbers have been close to it earlier also. And of course, baffling in a sense that crossing the 200 mark is something which is rather phenomenal. It's more than a landslide or a victory.
So let me come to those reasons that you were mentioning earlier. According to you, what has lent to this? Is it the specter of Jungle Raj, which came to fore because of Tejashwi being the CM candidate, or the development work that the NDA says has happened under Nitish Kumar and Modi government at the center? What really led to this?
Any single recipe would not be good enough to tell that these elections were won or contested on one fact. It's a combination of several factors. Of course, the perception about Nitish Kumar is fantastic, has been remained fantastic. And the correct caste combination which was created both in the JDU and the BJP. And apart from the combination which emerged in the NDA, which certainly was a much larger grouping than what was being offered by the RJD and the Congress. More so, the fact which always remained there that Prashant Kishore was the biggest spoiler in the thought process. And I'm very surprised that how he would have offered consultancy across the country could not himself predict what was happening. And he was working for no one. He was working for himself because he was completely off mark. And whenever I was in conversation with anyone in Delhi, They would not ask in Bihar about Nitish Kumar, or they would not ask about Lalu Yadav or Tejasvi. They would talk about Prashant Kishore. And this is India. And that India kept on talking of numbers which were not even closer to what we are talking. So we do not confront that India which talks about Bihar, but we have been communicating to that India which lives in Bihar. And certainly I could see that. And Bihar has a very positive feeling now. It had a very positive feeling. The face, you see in the campaign, the face of Tejasvi never emerged, because I personally feel Tejasvi takes, not be fair to say now that they have lost, but he took politics very casually. And this belief that the crowd now, and the worst rhetoric which was put there, which completely changed the campaign mode, was vote chori. And which had no connect, it had no connect whatsoever, simply because the Congress party had regained its position in the Lok Sabha election. It thought it could give a slogan, but that slogan could have been a national slogan if at all had to happen. Now, the Election Commission must go vehemently now and introduce SIR, because that has been proven that the voters came out in large numbers. And there was no reference whatsoever, even during the election, post-election, about vote chori. So I think they got everything wrong. And of course, the credibility of this combination, the BJP and the JDU, along with other combinations which was made, definitely had a major impact on overall situation in Bihar, with very large expectations. Women, of course, we knew were voting. Even the youth, because you see, at the end of the day, there is a Yadav youth in Bihar, there is a Kurmi youth in Bihar, there is a other EBC youth in Bihar. The youth cannot be clubbed in just one caste. Youth of Bihar, you see, and the major factor which you'll always must remember when you talk about Bihar is the caste. Now, foundation of caste in Bihar, of course, for the BJP, you could see that the foundation of caste was there, because we had Samrat Chaudhary of a particular community. We had Rajiv Pratap Rudy, who represented the Thakur community. We had Giriraj Singh, who represented the Pumiyar community. You had a combination. You had Nitin Naveen, who represented the particular community. So there was a groundwork which was done, and this foundation was off, and above that was the philosophy. Best part is there was no conflict in the philosophy of the JDU, which it calls as secular, and the BJP. And of course, the Hindutva in the BJP did add on to the JDU, and possibly JDU had its own share of vote also, which is a combination. So Hindutva does have a background note, and people who vote for the JDU also have a slight tinge of Hindutva with them. So all these combinations could not be caught on by the RJD or the Congress. And the Muslims in Bihar, of course, are forced to club themselves to RJD, which is something which is completely wrong. And they never thought Prashant Kishore as a force. He never emerged as a political person in Bihar. Bihar is hard-bred horror politics, which Prashant Kishore possibly could not understand.
But some people are suggesting that this can be some sort of a new start for Bihar, where people, women, youth have voted not along caste lines alone, but away from those caste lines. Do you think that is happening in Bihar, or is it too early to say that? Because you talked about the arithmetic. The arithmetic also had to be got right by the BJP and the NDA.
The foundations were all this. And of course, good work, governance. Foundation was all in a combination. It can never be a single combination, never cause. It's a combination. And combination clubbed with a very positive image with Bihar was bringing out to the nation along with. And the real fact, the overall situation, the infrastructure, the governance, all has improved considerably. And of course, election strategy in some way also contributes to the elections as well, which BJP, of course, is a mastermind. And just as JDU was no less.
Yes, and BJP has emerged as the single largest party, something that it has been wanting to do for a very long time. How do you see that? Does that change anything on ground?
If you appreciate the seniority which I have, it was a mutual affair. few seats plus few seats scoring more than 80% on both the political parties is a distinction. So we cannot say by 6 seats we are more or 6 seats we are less, that we have done better or bad. But we should not be comparing ourselves with JDU. This last edge of victory, when you are scoring 90% marks and 85% marks, cannot be said that he's more. So that I'm sure media is going to play it up. Some people have started asking now BJP should form a chief minister. No, we are committed to the face of Nitish Kumar, and we don't think of politics of Nitish Kumar in politics of the BJP in Bihar without Nitish Kumar. So let's there be no confusion. At least I personally have no confusion.
So I want to ask you, as someone who has, of course, seen Bihar politics for a very long time, now after these results, what do you make of the future of the RJD and of Tejashwi Yadav?
It earlier also had, you see, the RJD was Lalu Prasad Yadav. As Lalu Yadav diminishes, there is no RJD as a cadre organization. It's a clan. It's what you call, and sometimes you can also, some people refer it to as a kabila. So a tribe. They are not a political philosophy. They don't have any political philosophy. So as a result, they scare people away, and they did not have a combination. So Bihar somehow, RJD, as long as Lalu Prasad's face emerges, I don't think there is any reprieve which will appear or come to the Rashtriya Janata Dal and the Congress. Possibly, I would not like to comment on the strategy. If they had asked me, I would have suggested certain things, but RJD is not a political party. It does not have a mandate to be a political party. Lalu Yadav was a cult figure. With him diminishing, they cannot carry that cult following with any other leader inside the and with charges, because everyone, if you talk, will not believe Lalu family, because they will not believe them at all. Question of belief is also, Nitish Kumar they believe in, but Lalu Prasad Yadav, unfortunately, they are not to be believed. This has gone in the public now.
Yes, certainly that hurt Tejashwi Yadav. But some people also feel, Rajiv Pratap Rudy, that these results in state elections, including now Bihar, after 2024, is also a reflex of the public that felt that, okay, BJP got too less, and now they are compensating for it in some ways, that your supporters are coming out in large numbers and making sure that you win these elections with a huge margin. Is that what you also felt?
I didn't see anything like this happening in Bihar. I didn't see. At least in Bihar. Bihar is completely separate. 14 crore people think differently. And Nitish Kumar's master stroke was when he divided the OBCs into EBCs, Dalits into Mahadalits. So new combinations he created, and he became a leader of that. And that still is intact fully with the Nitish Kumar. So another 15, 20 years, at least in our lifetime, we are not going to see a politics in Bihar. And politics in Bihar, we have tested without Nitish Kumar. For BJP, it has not worked out. Let us see if there is, but I don't foresee anything like that in future.
So how long do you see Nitish Kumar continuing as the CM of Bihar?
We should not be asking that question. As of now, he is the chief minister. Future will decide, and he will decide. So no one can raise a question about his leadership and why and how. And we have to be honest to him in any extent.
No, I mean, at least post 2030, certainly that question will arise, right? Of what happens after Nitish Kumar.
Then we'll talk about it. I'm not an analyst. And I will talk about it when that time comes.
Okay. My final question to you, Rajiv Pratap Rudy. BJP's mission has been Congress Mukt Bharat. In some ways, it has become Congress Mukt Bihar. Your comments on that?
The Congress was never there. They left Bihar 30 years ago. And they have been piggy riding some political party or the other. So unfortunately, there's no Congress in Bihar. Even Parliament, I think they just have one seat. And it is for they're doing at the national level, which has impacted them at the state level also. So that is over. That is over.
Okay, that is over. All right, Congress was never there in Bihar. And RJD, not really a political party, but a clan, which will not really live beyond the cult of Lalu Prasad Yadav. Rajiv Pratap Dwivedi, thanks a lot for joining us. Many congratulations to you, your party and all of your workers for this stupendous performance on ground. Speaking of that performance, you can see those crowds that have collected out at the BJP headquarters in the national capital. I think I see more BJP leaders, including Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta, now arriving. My colleague Payal is tracking the developments there. Payal, everybody waiting for the Prime Minister's arrival. Just give me a sense of how the BJP at the central leadership level is looking at this win today.
Well, of course, it's a massive win as far as their confidence is really concerned, with the fact that many people have doubted what the NDA would be able to do as a cohesive unit. That's a big, big win. Shivani, as far as that is really concerned, they do understand that this is only going to get bigger and bigger from here on, as the Prime Minister speaks about bringing in 2047 as the Viksit Bharat year as well. That's something which one has really seen as well. And having said that, you could see the body language of Home Minister Amit Shah, the man who has taken the entire responsibility upon himself to make sure that they win this election, we did it comprehensively as well. And it's just a matter of telling the Prime Minister will come to a lot of support. Let's find out from them what it means for them. मैम ये बताइए कि जो ये इलेक्शन है कितना बड़ा है बीजेपी कितना बड़ा इलेक्शन कितना बड़ा मतलब आपका क्वेश्चन मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा है इलेक्शन फॉर बीजेपी कितना बड़ा है ऑलरेडी बैक टू शिवानी
Right. So big win for the NDA one more time, and certainly this has become now 4 elections for the BJP after the 2024 setback of sorts. That they have actually swept state elections, and this must be sending some worry signs as far as the opposition camps are concerned. There are key elections coming in. We were speaking to Prakash Javadekar earlier, Payal, and he's already mentioning Bengal, he's mentioning, Tamil Nadu, Kerala. I mean, these are the states that the BJP hasn't managed to do very well, either on its own or in alliances. So, is that something that they will be now looking at?
The BJP, Shivani, has been moving from strength to strength. Nobody really thought that they would be a force to reckon with when it comes to even the Orissa elections. But they were able to sweep the Orissa elections, not just in the assembly, but also the Lok Sabha as well. So that is the BJP, that is the kind of work that they actually put in. Nothing is impossible for them because they put in preparation seriously from top to bottom. Leadership is involved everywhere. We were just learning from somebody that how much of effort has been put in to make sure that every voter has been tracked to bring him to the voting booth as well. That's something which the BJP has been following as a matter of exercise as well. So it's the BJP's well-oiled machinery that you really see.
Payal, I see that there's a lot of people behind you, a lot of noise behind you as well. But we're continuing to get these visuals. Lots of, female workers and supporters of the BJP also out there. Many of them were out there in full strength in Patna as well. And it's that female connect or the Mahila connect that once again has worked for them. You suspect that the Prime Minister would possibly talk about that because Prime Minister has made one tweet on this victory. He has called it a victory for good governance, for social justice, samajik nyay ki jeet hai, sushasan ki jeet hai, and of course the development and vikas that he has talked about. But in all of this, the one thing that is almost becoming a political study now, Payal, is how BJP is managing to garner that female vote, even though all parties are going for it. All parties are wooing the female vote. But it is BJP or BJP allied parties that are getting the faith.
This started in 2020 when the women actually turned around the election in Bihar, in the favor of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in the favor of Nitish Kumar, largely at the back of, Sharab Bandi which was implemented, and that Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government did not let them sleep hungry right at the back of COVID as well. From there on, the BJP started taking this very, very seriously. Multiple state schemes have been announced as far as women are really concerned. You saw what really happened in Maharashtra when one of the opposition parties over there called women as bhikhari for accepting the doles that were being given to them as well. And the results were there for everybody to see. They could not even gather the strength to, in fact, have a leader of the opposition really happen as well. So obviously, Prime Minister Narendra Modi certainly will be making a mention of it that women have been at the center stage as far as development and welfare is concerned. Not just Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Nitish Kumar's entire career, if you see, Shivani, he had the vision to in fact give bicycles to girls so that they could go to school and college. And from there on to come here and giving, 10,000 rupees into the account of the women, it has been a huge jump that one has really seen as well. And women are looking this not only as a freebie, but looking this as an empowerment, because they'll be able to, some of them said that they bought sewing machine, some of them said they bought themselves a goat so that they could do dairy business as well. So women have made most of this, and they are not dependent solely, for the living from the male folk of the house, and also for taking smaller decisions in their life. I remember very, very clearly, even in places like Maharashtra, the rise in the sale of the iron pills had gone up, after the Latki Behna scheme was implemented, because women could use this for better health purposes. So women are serious vote bank. It will be important to see how the Prime Minister speaks about it.
Yes. But Payal, do you think that the BJP at the centre does see this as a vindication of sorts now that multiple elections have happened since 2024? They do see this as a vindication that, 2024 may have been an aberration or a wake-up call. But the faith of the public, by and large, even in Hindi heartland and across the states that they're already strong in, continues to be with the BJP.
Look, there are two lessons that one has learned from the Bihar election, Shivani. One, that caste does not matter, because people across the caste lines have voted for the BJP. So all that we had heard all these years ago saying that the Yadavs and the Muslims will vote a certain manner. If the sources are to be believed, the BJP is of the opinion that Simhanchal region, they've got vote from Muslims as far as Yadavs are also concerned. So that's been one lesson. Secondly, women folk are the crux as far as that is concerned. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was made a mockery of when he actually spoke about the need to have a Shauchalaya in place for women who are not able to get relieved with dignity, because they had to wait for late hours or early morning so that they could actually do that as well. So that is something which the Prime Minister and his government has taken up from time to time, giving them Ujjwala scheme as well. So there's been a nurturing of this bank over a period of time as well. And Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas and Sabka Vishwas has been the mantra of this government.
Getting some updated visuals now. I believe this is the carcade of the Prime Minister now coming in towards the BJP headquarters. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's carcade there. All the other dignitaries and functionaries and ministers, chief ministers of the BJP are already there at their headquarters. And this headquarters has also become the site of many speeches by Narendra Modi, victory speeches by Narendra Modi. Today, though, of course, is going to be possibly a little bit different and more somber than usual, because the Prime Minister is also in a fight mode per se, because of the Delhi blasts that have taken place for the first time in the national capital in 11 years, or since 2011 in fact. So certainly a lot of the energies and a lot of the thought process is going into that, into ensuring that there are no more scares, and of course, as he said, in catching all of those perpetrators. But currently the focus indeed will be in celebrating what has been a near historic win for the NDA. Certainly for the BJP, this has been a historic one. They've been wanting to be a single largest party in Bihar Assembly for a very long time. They have come close, sometimes by vote share, but not by seats. This time around, they have, of course, taken the march, even on its regional partner, the JDU in Bihar. Those are the visuals of the Prime Minister now arriving at the BJP headquarters. There is confetti in the air. There are rose petals on his car bonnet. And the Prime Minister is now coming out. He will be greeted by the BJP functionaries there. He will be presented with some sort of a memento or a token as JP Nadda, the BJP president, welcomes the Prime Minister. How many times we've seen this, and certainly while it was a bit of a teary-eyed evening last year in 2024 when the results were announced, because of the numbers, the strength going down, since then, Narendra Modi has celebrated many state wins for the BJP, including in Delhi, in Haryana, in Maharashtra, states that nobody really gave to the BJP. The Prime Minister flying his gamcha to greet the people there. These are BJP supporters, workers, leaders, party members who are there at the party headquarters. Big moment this for the BJP, Payal, given that they are also the single largest party in Bihar now.
Jai Shri Ram.
Shivani really thought that they could get past 74, which they thought was one of the best performances in the last election. But the people have blessed them with a bigger mandate. There was a lot of anti-incumbency staring into that face. Several changes were made, but the people have decided to bless. So once there is a wave, then there's no looking back. At individual candidates. This is actually a wave election where everybody is voted in the name of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the work that has been done by Nitish Kumar as well. The Prime Minister, of course, basking in that whole celebration. It's a somber celebration. Comparatively, the large number of people that you see at the party headquarters, you don't see those number of people today. But they've also been told to stay away from bursting crackers, etc.
अभिनंदन कर रहे हैं, हृदय से अभिनंदन और वंदन पानी प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का कर रहे हैं। इतनी बड़ी ऐतिहासिक विजय प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में हुआ है। फिर नारा लगाएंगे, मोदी मोदी मोदी, नरेंद्र मोदी नरेंद्र मोदी नरेंद्र मोदी नरेंद्र मोदी नरेंद्र मोदी 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 मोदी। भारत माता की, भारतीय जनता पार्टी, भारतीय जनता पार्टी, भारतीय जनता पार्टी। जय जय श्री राम, जय जय श्री राम। सभी कार्यकर्ता प्रधानमंत्री जी का अभिनंदन और वंदन करने के लिए आए हैं। प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में लगातार राज्यों में विजय भारतीय जनता पार्टी को हो रही है, एनडीए को हो रही है। ऐसे अपने नेता जो गांव गरीब किसानों के मसीहा के रूप में काम कर रहे हैं, विश्व के सर्वाधिक लोकप्रिय नेता है, वह प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी का अभिनंदन करने के लिए आप सब आए हैं। नरेंद्र मोदी नरेंद्र मोदी नरेंद्र मोदी नरेंद्र मोदी। विश्व के सबसे बड़ी पार्टी के राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष आदरणीय जगत प्रकाश नड्डा जी केंद्रीय कार्यालय में आ चुके हैं। भारत सरकार के रक्षा मंत्री राजनाथ सिंह जी आ चुके हैं। माननीय गृह मंत्री जी आ चुके हैं। सभी का अभिनंदन और वंदन करते हैं। जोरदार तालियों के द्वारा अभिनंदन करिए। सभी नेताओं का अभिनंदन करिए। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी बस शीघ्र ही मंच पे आने वाले हैं। नरेंद्र मोदी नरेंद्र मोदी नरेंद्र मोदी नरेंद्र मोदी 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 नरेंद्र मोदी। प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी विश्व के सर्वाधिक लोकप्रिय नेता। गांव हो, गरीब हो, किसान हो, वह उनको मसीहा के रूप में देखती है। जय जय श्री राम। नरेंद्र मोदी नरेंद्र मोदी नरेंद्र मोदी नरेंद्र मोदी मोदी मोदी।